Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, James Charles, again, continuing to be requested here, so we're gonna take a look into it. Y'all have been asking about this lawsuit with an ex-employee. You're like, who do we believe? Do we believe him? Do we believe her? There are rumors about both of them that are unsavory, and so what's going on here? We're gonna dig into that today, see what we can find out. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. These videos are always meant to be helpful, not hateful, so if you're down with that, join the family here. We'd love to have you. Me and P and Sweater both. Penelope over here in her white eyeshadow look, being all brilliant today. Alrighty, so y'all, this is a lot to dig into. We're gonna get into it. One question for y'all to vote. For private readings, we in April had an option implemented that was a new option for 15 minutes for people who just had one burning question that they wanted to ask, and it was at a reduced rate, and people really seem to like that option. I've actually been hearing a couple of people in the comments asking about that, about where it's gone, about is it coming back, do we have options like that here? So I don't know, y'all, should I bring that back as like a full-time thing? Usually we have the option for 30-minute private readings or 45-minute private readings, but should we also include a 15 for those people who just want one question? Just let me know. Comments, let me know. I'm trying to decide on if I should just make that a full-time thing instead of a one-time thing. So let me know. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and make sure you're still subscribed if you think you are. That's what the notification bell should look like if you're going to get notified, but please check back anyway because YouTube likes to drop the ball on notifications. This is the join button for the Perk Squad if you want to be a part of that. There's also a link in the description box below too that you can copy and paste in case you don't see the join button. But Perk Squad gives you 5 extra perks. You get custom emojis, you get badges by your names and all the comments that you type on the channel. You get exclusive videos, exclusive posts, and you get video shout outs like this one. Shout out to you, Matilda Smith. Shout out to you. Thank you for being a part of the Perk Squad. So just wanted to say welcome to, because I know that I feel like you're fairly new here, all things considered, and I'm excited to have you, and we appreciate you, and just welcome, and thank you, Matilda Smith. So shout out to you. Alrighty, y'all. Let's go ahead and pull up these cards here and move this microphone right here, and get shuffled up so we can dig right on in. And let's first, I guess, take a look at, there's a lot conflicting here. James Charles has a side. He has a story. His ex-employee who is suing him has a side. She has a story. So let's kind of get to the bottom of this in whatever ways that we can. Of course, this is to be considered opinion and not fact. This is all alleged, just my interpretation, okay? Okay, per usual here, per usual. So, let's see. In terms of James Charles and his side of the story, what do we need to know, spirit guides, in terms of his side of the story? Okay. Let's see what we got here. Alright, do we need any more context on this? I'm not actually going to get any right this second because there's already some cards here that I'm like, So, for James Charles, I mean, we have the Queen of Pentacles here in reverse. Okay, so this is like literally a female holding on to her coin, but she's in the reverse position. So in a very literal sense, with one of her claims being that she was somehow underpaid, either not paid enough or not paid at certain times, or whatever her claims were, this card kind of puts a little bit of truth to some of that. So, you know, I imagine then that she has some sort of records or ability to show that some sort of way, because again, sometimes these pentacles, they're always those tangibles. Sometimes they're standing for things that amount to evidence. So that's not a particularly good thing to see for him, and it's already out the gate. This was the first damn card we looked at. Same here for the Six of Cups. Look at this. This is like, oh, here, let me give you something. It's in reverse. So then we get an Ace of Pentacles. Oh, here, let me give you something. In reverse again. Y'all, all three of these on the top in reverse. Not a super strong start out the gate for James Charles. Not super strong here, okay? Just throwing that out here. With this Page of Cups upright, remember, this card comes up, and I'm not trying to be unkind to James, but this card comes up when we're talking about people with certain levels of immaturity. Now, in his defense, all of this was supposedly going on like, what, 2-3 years ago or something? Like, it's been a minute, and he would have been, I don't know, like, what, 19 or something, 18, 19, or, you know, probably a teenager. So for me to get a card that comes up about being emotionally immature, again, that's not to be unkind. It might just be because he, at the time, with that age, it would have made sense for someone to be emotionally immature. But that does play a part in this. Whether or not there is a reason why that's a good excuse doesn't negate the impact that is made. So there's something to that here. This here with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, this is a card about greed. This is someone who, as my dad used to say, will pinch a nickel to the buffalo shits. Y'all know those buffalo nickels? Pinch a nickel to the buffalo shits. So that's what that card is like. So it does seem like his motives at that time, and or whatever, you know, just speaking to what we're seeing from the cards here, that it's like, I gotta make more, whatever I can do to maximize my returns, whatever I can do to make sure I'm just always getting as much as I can get. And so this is kind of a motivated by greed type of feel here, just saying. And with the Four of Swords here upright, this is a card that comes up when people need to take a long reflection period. I mean, look at this person. They're resting. They should be meditating, or they should be reflecting on their actions. They should be thinking about some things. And that's what this card is representing. And allegedly, that's what he's doing now. So we've heard. He has said that he's taken time away from social media to be reflecting and thinking and talking to professionals and stuff like that. And this card would indicate that there is a need for that. So I'm glad that from what he said, he's doing that. So good. That's what we're seeing for starters for him. So let's keep moving on, see what else we've got for his side here. Okay. Alrighty, y'all. Oh, jeez Louise. Okay. I would like a context card right here. Yeah, a context card right here. Okay, so with the Temperance card, this is kind of about like that balance. I mean, you see this person pouring the water in and out of the cups, balancing things out. So you can kind of think of it sometimes as this universal balance. You know, you pour this in your cup, that means you have that same amount to pour out of your cup. You know, what's fair is fair kind of thing. And so for people who are saying things like karma, what goes around comes around, you're reaping what you've sown, though those things might be extreme and might be value-laden and judgment-laden, there is some truth to that. Reaping what he has sown in some sort of a way in this period. So just throwing that out there again, this is just a legend and just my interpretation. But with the Page of Pentacles upright, next to this Tower in reverse, this is like, as it relates to some situation about money, we're freaking the hell out. So he is freaked out on the inside. He may have a bit of a tough exterior sometimes. He may show some confidence. Some people might assert overconfidence, but it looks like this is something that would be freaking him out right now. With the Strength card on top of it, it's like, okay, look at this. I mean, just look at the visual here. Keep your mouth shut. I mean, look at that. Shut your fucking trap. You know, that's exactly what that card is looking like here. Is what she looks like, she's trying to shut his mouth. And so with this card, it's like he's freaking out and he's trying to silence this person from making things worse for him, which I do believe he made a video clip or something recently. I don't know which platform it was on, but talking about like, oh, it's convenient that now, you know, when I'm going through this stuff, that now she's making a public fuss over this when this has been going on for a little while kind of thing. And so there is, you can tell that there's some sort of, you know, and perhaps rightfully so, animosity towards the timing. Again, remember, this card can stand for timing, of what she's doing now publicly. But it does show that he's trying what he can to be some liquid kaopectate and put a cork in it. So, James Charles, you're some kaopectate right now. Okay, so down here, Lover's card upright, 5 of Wands, and then we get the Devil card with this Hierophant. So this is like, okay, let's do something. This is a business card. Let's do something. So this is like the idea of, for lack of a better way of putting it, paying people off. This is that idea. And then here we have fighting, and it's like, oh, I don't want this fighting here. So the Devil card in reverse, let's make this negative, toxic, horrible shit end by taking it through this person. And a lot of my readings, when we get the Hierophant instead of the Justice card, that means, again, some kind of mediation, some kind of trying to settle outside of going to court. And it sounds like, from the things that we've heard, that this was the route that he preferred to go, but things perhaps didn't work in his favor so much with this. From what we've heard, he maybe offered not as much money as what she was looking for. So, you know, whatever. I've read some things, some comments that people have written, and I haven't dug in too intensely into this because I didn't want to look down every little nook and cranny of what I was, you know, reading before I did this. I want to do this first. So that's part of why I'm doing this now, because I really want to read this Insider article that apparently came out, and I want to see what all they say in that. But yeah. So he's just, he's basically, from this, again, all alleged, pissed off that this is the way that it's going, and he thinks that this shouldn't be the way that it's going. So it's interesting that so far on his side, it looks like he's mad about it. He's trying to shut her mouth. There's ways that he wished this would have gone instead, but at the very beginning, we did see all these indications of pinching pennies and things not given what was due and stuff like that. And so in a real sense, I do see that as a problem here. So for her, against James Charles, points made. Now, if we're gonna flip it up, play devil's advocate and look for her side though, because there's some people are like, but should we believe her? I've heard that she has maybe not the best reputation. I'm not sure why she doesn't have the best reputation, but I have heard rumblings of that. So interesting. I did hear that she had just gone through some legal battle with another influencer, and I think that she may have won that. Either that or it's not quite over. But let's see her side of this. So in terms of what she is bringing to the table energetically and literally, and what the truth is versus what are the untruths and stuff for her side, what are we looking at here? Y'all can't see that yet, but you will when the camera focuses in just a second. Well, what do you know? I shuffled how many times, and yet I'm getting a couple of similar cards here. So interesting. Y'all saw I shuffled like 2-3 times or something like that, and I've already gotten 1, 2, 3 cards here that are repeats from what we got in his pile. When we get similar cards, it's because we're talking about similar themed things. It makes sense that when we're talking about this, where he's involved with her and she's involved with him, and this is intertwined, entangled, it makes sense for us to get some repeats up here, even if there's all of these to choose from. So, intense. So, on her side, once again, reiterating that she's saying, this is my complaint, that he didn't give me what he was meant to give me. And with the Sun card in reverse, it's like there was so much potential to be had here, but then it wasn't. And boom, here we go again with this conflict card. And the Two of Swords is a decision that has already been made by this King of Wands card. So whoever this guy is has already made a decision, and that is why the Tower is falling. So let me see what they mean by this guy has already made a decision, and that's why the Tower is falling. Let's see. Ooh, a sneaky decision by this guy. Okay, we're still talking about this guy and this sneaky decision. Oh shit, dropping a card here. Boom. About career. Makes sense. About career, moving forward. Yep. And it was a painful experience that she went through. In her view, it would be a painful experience that wasn't what it may have seemed. And boom. Remember what we talked about the immature person? And here we have it. So that's just... Oh, I thought I was going to get this. I was like, well, maybe when it's saying immature person, it could be, again, reiterating what we saw for him. And I was like, we'll see. I put down the next card. Female card. So, through the spirit guide's perspective, both of them in this case have been handling things with a lack of emotional intelligence, with a level of emotional immaturity. Both of them, because this came up in James Charles's pile, and now right next to female card, it's coming up again in hers. So yeah, we have down here all these cards that are talking about the decisions already been made because of this non-payment whatever. It does seem like there are receipts or things that could be used to show that she was indeed underpaid some sort of way. It looks like she does physically have a way to prove that. Again, a la leche. But that doesn't mean that there isn't some emotional immaturity going on here as well. So this is interesting. It's like I feel like lately we've been doing a lot of readings like this, where especially as it pertains to James Charles, where we end up in situations with individuals and people are like, is it James? Is it the other person? Who's at fault? Who's in the wrong? Who's whatever? And the cards will show, like, you know, legally, maybe this person is more in the right or more in the wrong. And, you know, ethically, maybe this person is more in the right or more in the wrong. But every time we get to an emotional level, the cards have been recently saying, I'm sure y'all have noticed, both people have been acting like grown-up babies in some of this. So to some extent, it's like people's emotional growth is stunted, or they are just handling things in ways that could be done better than what they're doing, or things like that. So it's interesting that we're seeing this theme. I know y'all have been noticing that in my videos, especially the James Charles ones about him and whoever else that, you know, he's involved with at the time. But whoo, Lord have mercy. Okay. Interesting. So I like how the spirit guides here are being realistic to stuff, but they're not holding back per se. So they're like, no, it's true. James Charles, there's proof that allegedly that you're withholding stuff that you could have done better with the payment, that you did underpay in some type of way. Again, I don't know what type of way exactly. But then they're showing this emotional immaturity for both of them. So let's see a little bit more on her and her side. There's an attorney. There's not getting what we want. There's like, okay, well then I'm going to make a knee-jerk effort to go ahead then. So it looks like when she got her attorney involved, she didn't get what she wanted. And so knee-jerk, automatic, real quick reaction after that was the boom, let's ante up. So it does seem like, again, this is alleged, on her side, she probably has not super thought through some of these things. She just wants to push ahead and see what she can get. Now, that doesn't mean her attorneys haven't super thought through what's going on. I'm sure her attorneys do. That's their jobs, right? But from her standpoint, it's like, what? I didn't get what I want? Boom, what's the next level we can do then? If I didn't get what I want, what's the next level? Not I didn't get what I want. Should I do this or should I do that? You know, maybe let me consider what I'm asking for, blah, blah. It's like, boom, what can we do? What's the next step? What's the next ante up, you know, is what this is kind of showing. Timing and balance again. I'm telling you, we're getting some repeats from some of this stuff. This is about having, having a not so great team in terms of relationships here. So, how do I put this then? Okay, I'm not trying to sound bad with this, but this, when I get these two by each other, this is kind of that feeling, that vibe, the whole birds of a feather flock together type of thing, where it's like you wind up around these people, in these people's groups, because fundamentally there's something that's a similar tie between y'all energetically. And so this is just weird. You know, it's, of course, whatever's legally right needs to be legally done. I get that. But from a personality, psychological, spiritual perspective, there's a whole lot of petty going on, is what it looks like, and a whole lot of your shit, well, your shit too kind of thing going on. And so it kind of feels like a zero-sum game. It's like, okay, we're going to put in all this effort and there's going to be a winner and a loser, and what have we gained? So what? You know, there's a weird aspect like that to this, to where it's like, what's the point? I mean, obviously to legally get what's fair and what's right, and that's good. But y'all see what I'm saying? Does that make sense here? It's just like, what the hell? So, okay. I'm gonna pull a little bit more on this, and then I'm gonna do a Perk Squad video where we look into more of like the details of the lawsuit and potential outcome for the lawsuit and things like that. We'll look into that on a Perk Squad video, but I want to pull a little bit more here. I like to give as much context on these main videos as possible before I do a little Perk Squad thing. And again, if you want a private reading, then you can look in the description box below at my website, BeasTalksAndTarot.com, and you can schedule it yourself and let me know if y'all want me to bring back the 15-minute options instead of just having the 30 and the 45. Know that if it's 15 minutes, then those sessions will be a one question only, because that's all I'll be able to handle in those times. So, vote wisely. So, okay, what's the last little bit that y'all want us to know, spirit guides, on this video about this situation before we move on to the Perk Squad video? What's the last little bit you want us to know? Interesting. So, last little bit we're wanting to know in this video before we move on to Perk Squad video is Moon card upright. There are things being hidden here. There's stuff that is trying to not make it out to see the light. When you have the Moon card, it's always like, stuff it in, hide it, cover it up, don't talk about it, shush. It's these subconscious fears and anxieties that we don't want out. There's these hidden agendas, things like that. So for this to come up, there's something deeper going on about this than the face value thing. How do I put this as an example? This is not true to this case, but this is just an example. So when I mean that there's like more than meets the eye, it's kind of like if you have these two people and one person is suing another, and you find out, oh, they used to be, boyfriend and girlfriend, and it's a scorned lover thing, and so she's sure she wants to sue, but she's just extra mad because she wants to get back at him for what he did to her. Obviously, that's not what's going on here. I know that's not what's going on here, but you know what I mean by that example, to say that there's something more to that example's lawsuit than just the lawsuit, because there's a scorned lover aspect to that. Here is a similar vibe where there's more to it than just the lawsuit, just the I think I deserved more pay, blah 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 blah, this was not fair. There's more to it than that. There's an emotional scorned type of component or something there, whether it's scorn, whether it's jealousy, whatever have you. It's some sort of an emotionally charged, emotionally immature, negative attribute type of thing that is a driving force behind wanting to push this to a full extent. So yeah, scorn, jealousy and greed go hand in hand. They're all kinds of stuff. So we're seeing that. Again, they're saying that she's just really pushing forward as far as she can to get as much as she can. It's saying not everything she's asserting is true. The Ace of Swords in reverse, this is a card I get for lies. Not everything she's alleging about him is true. So it's interesting that he said that in one of his things, like, oh, I'm gonna, it's like he did a video that he wanted to kind of get out ahead of the Insider article, which I really want to read. And so he made a video to go ahead and dispel some things beforehand. There's some stuff that she might say that's not completely true. So that's interesting for that to come up. At the same time, we have down here that not everything he's saying is true. There's a big CYA aspect. That Moon card with the hidden agendas can cover that as well. And it would make sense for him to have that, but this is like things not going the way we wanted it to go, but she's in a stronger position here, and this is all this extra stuff that she's taking on, and when it's in the upright position, that means a lot of her efforts that she's doing extra would pay off. So that's interesting too. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and do the Perk Squad video now to sum it up with some of the lawsuit details, potential outcomes, things like that. And again, join button is below and link in the description box if you want to be a part of that video. If not, no worries. I did 90% of everything here. And like I said, if you want a private reading with me, description box below for that as well. What do y'all think? Especially for those of you who have read the Insider article already, and any of y'all who've had a chance to watch other people's videos, like drama videos. I've heard Emily D. Baker has done one or more videos on this, which I'd be interested to hear about that as well. So y'all let me know. And don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, love you, minute. Bye, love you, minute. Bye, y'all, and see y'all in a second, Perk Squad.